Hi, hello, welcome to building another 2.1 level. Yeah, so if you've been watching the channel in 2.2 at all, did I say 2.1? I meant 2.2. You may remember when I started working on, where is it, this level here. I made a video building this part right here, and although I'm kind of happy with it, I'm not super happy with it, to be honest. I don't know, I started building a bit more of a layout and started recording it for a video, but I don't know, man. I'm not super happy with how this level's turning out, so I don't know. I started building, this part right here. And I'm a lot more happy with how this turned out here. It's like about the same difficulty probably, and it's a lot goofier, a lot more like lighthearted, I guess. And I feel like this plays into my style a lot more, and I think that's kind of what that other level is missing, is it's just not like my style, right? I just want to kind of build a level, you know? That was my first 2.2 level. I know a lot more about the triggers now. I feel like I could make something fun. So I am going to be making a brand new level. I'm going to be using this song that I found on Newgrounds just before. What the bass? Yeah, I'll start off with that little mew, mew, mew. Yeah, when this level gets to the drop, it gets super goofy. It's so goofy, I love it. So yeah, this is kind of the vibe I want to go with for this new level. Not like some serious, like, whatever. I just want to like, So I want to have some form of intro sequence here, and then I'll start you off like, I don't know, maybe with just a pad, so you come out of the darkness there, and then maybe you like land on a little structure going down like this. How do I want to do the structuring for this? I think something I did in that other level that I thought was really cool is some structures kind of like this. Or no, I did this in a different level, sorry. Maybe even flip them around the other, whoops. And I don't know what difficulty I want to go with here. Probably like, I don't know, easy demon or something. That's not quite easy demon. It'll end up being insane demon, dude. It always ends up being insane demon with me. Do a bit of a longer structure with the triple spike there, incorporate a saw blade in there, just kind of build up some of these structures, right? And what I'll actually do is I'll start decorating it now, just so I know like that these structures are going to work how I want them to. Before we get into that though, please consider lightly bonking that subscribe button. Would be greatly appreciated. Okay, decoration time. So let's go with a nice dark but saturated background of, let's go pink like all my other levels. I always end up going purple for my levels. Let's go red, sure. And let's go with, I don't know, forest background. All right, and now for these designs, I want to do something that can incorporate slopes. I mean, obviously, right? Do I want to do some form of design on the top and then something different for the slopes going down? I think that could work, yeah. So instead of doing it like these, I'll just get rid of those and then chuck some of these outlines on the top so it kind of separates them a little bit. And then for these top bits, what do I want to do? Some pixel art blocks. I don't know if I want to do the rotatey thingy again. Yeah, bugger it. I'll do the thing where I rotate it around again because I like that. So the way I do that is I chuck a rotate trigger down here, 90 degrees, 0 move time, and then just do a group. I'd make a group 1 this time, I guess. And we want to spawn trigger that and then give that group 2. And then chuck a spawn trigger down that does group 2 in like a 0.1 delay. Make that multi-trigger as well, or spawn trigger as well, rather. And also give that group 2. And now I can chuck a spawn trigger down here that doesn't have group 2, but just turns on group 2. So now when I give these group 1, they should rotate around, I think. Yep, that looks really cool. Okay, so how do I color that then? Well, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna copy the color of the background, change the hue a little bit, brightness down, saturation up a bit maybe, perhaps? Ooh, definitely not brightness down, brightness up quite a bit because the background's really dark here. Now that's not enough to make the design on its own. I think we need something else kind of in the background there. I'll just put some regular blocks here, maybe just even like black blocks that kind of back that. And then I'll grab the big grow gradients, the big bits of glow, put them on T3 like that, and then okay, this might work or it might be really stupid, but I'll give them group 3 and then give that an area scale trigger. It's not that noticeable. What if I keep that like that and then do that on the rotating bits? Would that look really weird? Oh, that's so weird. It's kind of cool, but we need something more if we're gonna do that. I think let me increase the length to like even 80, something like that, and then ease in out. But then we need to put something else there. Something else to make it like a bit noisier. Maybe instead of just having black blocks there, we can do some other like random pixel art block. Like these ones or something, just to chuck in the background, right? Oh, that looks really weird. I'm not the biggest fan of that. What if I make that like 7? Yes, but then chuck that behind? Yeah. That's kind of neat, yeah. And then I'll give these a group as well, the glow, and then I'll pulse the glow. Yeah, you kind of see how that works. I think that's kind of interesting. If we give that some more pulses, that'll look good as well. I'm going to copy that to the rest of the things, I think. All right, nice. I think that's cool. Now I want to fill in these bits down the bottom, which for that, I'm honestly tempted just to chuck in like some of these guys and just kind of stack them up, I think could look cool. If I just grab that and half spacing, yeah, half spacing is like perfect. And then we just stack a bunch of those guys up. Could be cool if we did some good pulsing effects with them and gave them a nice color, yeah. And for these bits on the top, I almost want to give them like a new color here. Also copy the color of the background, brighter, more saturated, but hue 180 so that they're like the contrasting color. I want some complementary colors in there. I think that could look quite cool. And then I want to give that 5 and then maybe pulse those along. Then I can copy paste that along. Sure, that can just go like that. Yeah, okay. And then I want to pulse the background like goes a little bit brighter and a little bit more to the pinkish side of things. So it kind of... Alright, I think that's kind of cool. It's not like... I need to do some crazy wacky pulses, like a nice yellow. Alright, and now I think we need some like more structure variation. So I'm tempted to like... That's too evil. Some of these like pillar structures maybe like add an extra structure down here that has an extra couple spikes, you know, just a few things like that. And then we can grab another one of like these structures here and then chuck them in the sky. And then we can nestle that in there with a couple spikes. Oh, that's looking nice. That's looking good. Fill in the space a lot more. That's kind of how I do it. For this little structure down here, I might do the same design that we have in here, just like so. But for these pillars, I want to do something a little bit different. Now, what exactly I want to do, I'm not really sure, but I'll work it out. Oh, okay, wait, hang on. I have an idea. What if I make the inside of this saw 7? Spike 7, like that. Chuck another one there, and then if I copy paste that, layer them well above, and then make the outside 7 as well. So you can see that makes an entirely black spike, and then I can scale that down to about there. And then so yeah, as you can see, that creates that kind of a thing, and then I can fill in the rest of the block with whatever else I want to do. What if I use these things, right? Make the outside like some form of, maybe even just one blending, but then adding that to the group that like pulses. Ooh, that is some nice pulses, dude. That's really cool, actually. I like that. It's a little bit in your face, but I can probably get away with like even... Oh, okay, hear me out, right? I don't know if this is gonna work. This might be a little bit out there, but what if I take some of this lava, make that black, like so, and then just kind of copy paste that down the thing so it's a bit like that? Yeah. Maybe I can even like make it so it kind of pulses down a little bit. That looks very neat, actually. I'm very happy with that. You know what? I think that's cool. All right, well, let me apply that pillar design to the rest of these pillars here, shall we? All right, well, I'm pretty happy with that so far. That's not like done, obviously. I still need to design these saws, these things, maybe a background, some ground spikes, a bunch of stuff. But I kind of just feel like building some more gameplay right now. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to build some more gameplay. All right, so with this gameplay, I pretty much just did what I did with the decoration and just kind of throw a bunch of objects in and move them around until it worked. I'm thinking maybe one of these and then one of these, perhaps? Maybe I can even chuck that down there so you have to like really time that late. That's kind of a goofy timing, but I kind of like it. For some reason, whenever I intend on actually decorating a level, my like creating ability for building gameplay out the window completely. It's gone, bro. I can't find it. I don't know where it went. But you know what? Despite that, I was pretty happy with how this gameplay turned out. It's so goofy. It's so goofy, but I like it. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and pretty much do the same thing I did before and just add a bunch of these structures around the place. All right, so I've gone ahead and built up a bunch more structures around the gameplay we made just before. I also added this guy in temporarily because I wanted to put an arrow or something there, some extra decoration. And I can chuck one of those like in here, maybe in, you know, a couple other places that are a little bit more open, you know? And, you know, this is starting to come along. It's starting to come along. I should probably apply all of the design we have here so far to everything else. And boom, just like that, that is done. All right, sweet. Now, I probably want to design these things, which for that, I might just go for like a 2.1 block. I'd like to do another rotating thingo, maybe even a 2.0 block. Like, what if I do something like this? Give that 7, so it kind of, hang on, if I give that like 2, it looks like the object's wearing undies. Anyway, if I give that 7, give that the rotating group, which is 1, I believe. And then maybe even the, like, bright pulsing group as well, which is 3, I think. Yeah, give that 4 so it like pulses white every now and then, you know? I think that could be quite neat. Ooh, I want to do something with these rotating around as well. These objects are sick, but later. And then behind that, I can do some form of other, maybe like a pixel art block again, like this or something, but make it darker instead of lighter. Ew. Nah, it needs to be something bright behind there. I want something that's like changing color a lot, but I don't know what to use for that. I guess there is nothing I can really use for that other than like maybe giving that a pulsing group. I guess that kind of works, yeah. And then maybe I can do the thing where you get like a giant corner glow piece. Whoa, that's kind of sick actually. And then maybe I can do something kind of like an animated object sticking off the bottom perhaps. Yeah, that could be interesting. If I layer that above everything. I think what I could probably do instead is just use some of these lightning to connect a few things. Maybe not that one. That one's a bit too, like, varied. Something like that. Just kind of connecting a few of the things around. I think that's kind of neat, actually. I like that. Is it a little bit goofy? Yeah. But, what isn't, you know? You know what I'm saying? And then I can give these, like, a few of the pulsing groups at kind of, like, random here, perhaps? I think that's kind of neat. Yeah, I like that. Okay. This spike design. Now, I kind of want to do something a little bit different for this as well. Maybe even something like this, right? Maybe it's something like this that's the white blending, and then that'll scale with the player, perhaps? Yeah, that's a bit cooler. I like that. Okay, let's go with that then. All right, so I went ahead and replaced all of the single blocks, as well as adding all the spike designs, as well as adding a bunch of this lightning around the place. And I think the level's feeling pretty dynamic. I'm pretty happy with that. Now, sword design or ground spikes first? I'm gonna go ground spikes because, I don't know, we need some ground spike design. Now, I think in order to, like, cover up, I don't know if cover up is the right word, but I wanna, like, kind of, I guess slightly cover up these, like, sections here, because they're a bit samey for some of them, especially bigger ones like this up here and this one. I think chucking some like monsters and maybe some of this like fire and stuff over the top could work quite well. But first, which ground spike are we going to use? I'd like to have one where I can like cut it off. Maybe I can use this one. That was kind of neat. Let's go to a new layer here, layer 4, and let's kind of chuck a little bit of this around the place. Maybe kind of make a little gap in it there and then continue it there just to kind of vary it up a little bit, you know? All right, so we'll go ground spikes all along the bottom here, and now I want to select all of this and chuck it on the layer above these slope bits, you know what I'm saying? Do I want to do like an animated thing where it uses like these that kind of go across? Oh, you can't even see that. It looks kind of goofy. I guess that's like the fitting thing for it, right? But I don't love that. We can have some other animated objects in the ground spikes. I think what I want to do is something like, I don't know, some of these or something I think could look quite nice. Does that look goofy? Yeah, that doesn't really look very nice laid above that, does it? Maybe what we can do instead is copy paste this, shift it up, and then layer it below, and then give that maybe another color that's copying the color of, I guess, the background, but a lot brighter, a little bit less saturated in hue 180 maybe. Oh, it needs to be a lot brighter. Whoa, that looks really weird. I do kind of like how that pulses though. What if I do that but without the hue 180 and make the brightness not quite as bright, and then I'll give them the pulsing groups maybe? I don't know, man. I don't know what I'm doing. That doesn't look terrible. That looks all right. I'm not gonna lie, I feel a bit like Sisyphus, bloody adding all of these groups onto this thing, because we go 7, 8, oh my god, we're climbing up the hill, and back down to 5. Over and over and over again. No break. Well, we will get a break soon. I'm almost done actually, but... And boom, that is the last of the groups. Oh my god. Yeah, I think that looks quite cool. It adds to it quite a bit, and like, I don't know, it helps balance out the like complementary color with the main color. That's kind of my goal with this whole level essentially, is I'm trying to like balance out the black with the main color, with the complementary color, with a little bit of white in there as well, but not too much white. It's just the struggle of building a GD level. Anyway, I want to use some of these guys because I think they're funny. Maybe even rotate them a little bit so they're just kind of sticking out the bottom. Yeah, that's kind of the first little ground spike design I think I want to do. And then I want something a little bit more solid to kind of cover up these a little bit. So my natural thought is to use like these guys because I love these guys. Let's see if we can resist for a little bit though. Maybe I can use some fire. What if I do black on the inside? Ooh, that looks kind of cool actually. And then layer that above that. Ooh, that's quite interesting actually. I do like that, yeah. Adds an interesting flair to it, you know, and like I say, it helps cover up the boring repetitive structure. All right, cool. I think that's looking quite nice. Let's go ahead and do some orb deco, shall we? I'm so tempted to do one of these things circling around the orb. I think it looks so funny. Maybe I could even use, and hear me out, I know everyone hates the pinwheel, but what if I use one of these, right? Let's give this group 10. And I think if I use the pixelate shader here, make this like 3 3 and 3 and hard edges, you can see that kind of pixelates everything. I want to just pixelate that, so can we do that? Oh, it's done for layers. Oh, that's weird. Okay, well, I'll chuck this on, I guess, B3 maybe? And then if I go ahead and make that just apply to B3, we should see, hopefully, that it is pixelated. You can't really see it. Oh, I don't think blending applies. I think that's why. Oh, that makes my life a lot harder, I won't lie. It kind of looks cool. I kind of dig that. And then what if I do something else that's kind of smaller around it that isn't pixelated? Like one of these maybe, that's one's on black and the other one is like the opposite color, like that. And then make the opposite color one just ever so slightly smaller. I think that's kind of neat, yeah. Right, cool. Now I should come up with a sword design, shouldn't I? So for the base here, I want to do a black blending so that it kind of looks like this. I think that's like my new favorite effect, making saw blades look like that. I think it just looks so cool. And then I might do a couple smaller hexagons like this. Yeah, I really like that effect. So I'll make this rotate at, I guess, 60. I think no, that was not 60. That was more like 150. And then this one can go at negative 150 maybe. So it kind of matches that, but backwards. All right, yeah, I think that's cool. I think that works quite well. I think they need something kind of going behind them to make them a bit more visible. What I might do is one of these. I'll give this like a background blending, but a little bit less bright. Give that a rotation of like 150 perhaps. And then I'll copy paste that and give it a rotation of like 100. Just so it kind of offsets like this a little bit, I think is kind of cool. Yeah, it creates kind of a cool effect on the outside. I like that. Okay. And that just helps to make it a little bit more visible because I think it was a little bit evil before without it, you know, like just these. Not super clear that there's a saw blade there and that, you know, it will kill you. Yeah, I think this is coming together quite nicely, to be honest. I like this. Okay, now I want to add... I should probably do this arrow, actually. I do have an idea for this. If I get rid of this saw blade from this, yeah, something like that, but they need to be thinner. So maybe these ones that I can scale down to about that size. So something like that. And then I'll also chuck in a couple of these guys. And then I just want to do an arrow. Nothing too crazy. All right, now I want to do something kind of coming from the background. And for this, okay, I have an idea. An idea. A good idea? I'm not too sure yet, but is it an idea? Oh, yes, it is. I want to use some of the gradient triggers. So I'll chuck one of those up there, and then I want to do kind of like a just kind of spike appearing, and then it can kind of morph and shift a little bit, I think could be interesting. And so the way I did that is by, first of all, adding a fourth point in there, then giving them all groups and using the gradient trigger in vertex mode, which if you don't know, essentially allows you to pick the corners of the gradient that you want. And after setting the whole thing to completely black, I was kind of happy with it, but I wanted to try and do that morphing effect I was talking about. And the way I would do that is by placing another point in here and making a couple of the points rotate around it. It took me a little bit to actually get this effect how I wanted, but after a while I got it looking pretty good. I was pretty happy with it actually. Yeah, you know what? It's weird. It is very, very weird, but I think it fits this level quite nicely. I do like that, yeah. And so when I was happy with it, I selected all of the points and all of the triggers and copy pasted them and used Build Helper. Build Helper, my beloved. Makes my life so much easier. And of course I did shift a couple of the points around a little bit just to give it a bit more variation. And then I made it move like a background. That was pretty much how I did the custom background for this part. Alright, well I'd say I'm pretty happy with this level so far. You know what? I think it's cool. Is it goofy? Oh yeah, it's very goofy, but I think it's cool. I'm very, very happy with it. I think it's like fairly dynamic. I think it's pretty colorful, you know, it's just a build up. It's nothing like too intense, right? And I think I did some unique things with it, some like interesting things, you know? Alright, so I think the very last thing I want to do this week is I want to build a bit of an intro sequence here. What intro sequence? More of like a transition into the level, I guess. Maybe, oh, okay, I do have an idea. I don't know if this is going to work. I'm going to chuck down a gradient trigger here that is 7, 7. Put it above everything. Why is it not? Oh, I need to increase the ID. Okay. I want it to be like T3 maybe, just so that it's above almost everything. And then I can put some objects on T4 that are above this black gradient. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to recreate just the like outline of all of these structures here. Just kind of simply, nothing too insane. Or even not with these at the top. I'll try and, oh, could I recreate what I did with those? I guess I could, right? Yeah, it would literally just be the same as these spikes. Okay, so I can literally just copy that and then bring that up to layer 7. All right, and I think that's probably enough structures. Now let's select all of those, chuck those on T4 so they should go above the gradient. Set that back to normal so you can see the basic just outlines of the blocks, right? That is exactly exactly what I want. So let me, And what I want to do is maybe move these like, yeah, probably 10 blocks over here. And then I think I can also do no touch as well. And no glow, of course. And then that should mean we can just pass through them. Yeah, okay. So let's give these all a group. And then I want to move them to the right a couple times. How the music goes like, meep, meep, meep. And then I want to disable the gradient. Okay, so if I make that not additive and normal. Yeah, kind of. I think I can probably do a better job though. And maybe use a static camera even. Could be interesting. Yeah, so there's this thing called a guide object, right? Which if you don't know, shows you where the camera is going to be if you static onto that. And on the guide object, there's this little line here which indicates where the player is when you're normally playing. So what I did is I made that line up where I want the level to transition in. And then just static onto the guide object until the transition is done. And that creates this really nice and smooth transition. But then I noticed there was a lot of the ground showing and it was kind of weird. I don't know. I wanted to do some custom camera movements. So I actually kept it staticking on the Y as the rest of the level progressed and then moved it up halfway through the part just so it like matched where the gameplay moves, right? I don't know. Just a nice little detail to make it feel a little bit nicer. Now that you can do that in 2.2, I may as well, right? I think that's a pretty good transition in, not gonna lie, I'm pretty happy with that. Doing transitions in 2.2 is so much easier, dude, I swear. And you know what, bugger it, I'm gonna do a couple enter things. Let's do an enter tint here. That gives a very interesting vibe, I won't lie. Maybe we can lower the tint a little bit, and I also wanna do a bit of a scale thing as well. Oh, what? What is going on? Oh my god, no, that is not what I wanted. Oh, that looks even weirder somehow. I just wanted to start from really small and get bigger. That's really weird. So they're all like flipping upside down. That's kind of awesome, actually. I kind of really like that. It's really weird, but that's kind of sick. That's kind of really, really cool because you can see like all the spikes are flipping upside down, right? Phew. I think that gives a really cool effect. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to use that. All right, cool. That's what this level is going to be called. What the base. All right, well, let's give the whole level a look so far then. Alright, nice. I'm very happy with how that's turned out so far. It's so goofy, but that is exactly what I was aiming for. Really trying to play into like my own creating style and just have fun with it. I don't know, I just want to make levels. It's a really fun way to create, and my goal is to be able to create in that way, but make really, really good levels. I'll get there one day. Slowly getting there more and more. But yeah, anyway, I'm going to end this one off here. Thank you so much for watching. Really hope you enjoyed. Huge thank you to all the members, especially Infdu. Thank you. Really appreciate it. And yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.